When we first meet Boa Hancock, she's shown to be the beautiful pirate empress of Amazon Lily, the island of women warriors. Now, she isn't the empress of this island through birthright. She's actually the empress because she's the strongest, and the most beautiful, because on this island, strength is beauty. She returns to her island after turning a few dozen Marines into statues and declining fighting in the Marineford War. It's time for her bath, and whenever she bathes, everyone must leave the entire building. Most of the Kuja women believe this is because of a Gorgon curse, where the eyes on her and her sister's backs will turn anyone who gazes upon it into stone. However, what she could not account for was the fact that Monkey D. Luffy got slapped onto the island by Kuma. A man who's already forbidden on this island has now done the most forbidden thing, looking at the pirate empress's back. Boa sentences Luffy virtually to death. When he's fighting the other two Boa sisters, he does the unthinkable and covers Boa Sandersonia's back when it becomes exposed. This act of kindness touches Boa's heart, and she decided to reveal her dark secret to Luffy. Boa reveals her back to Luffy, unveiling the hoof of the soaring dragon and exposing her past as a slave of the celestial dragons. They were only children. When Boa was 12, her and her two sisters were abducted and sold into slavery to the celestial dragons. They lived horribly abusive lives after that, as they received those brands to prove that they were to be considered less than human, and likely had to endure all kinds of unspeakable traumas. During this time, they were actually forced to eat the devil fruits that they have today. This torture continued for 4 long years. Until Fisher Tiger, a former slave that had managed to escape the slavery of Marishwa, climbed the Red Line and returned to wreak havoc and free all the slaves. Although he himself had hatred in his heart for humans, even he couldn't let anyone be subjected to such atrocities. Luckily for them, a former empress, Gloriosa, was out in the world and managed to bring them back to Amazon Lily. Boa's current outlook. Boa hates men because not only are they forbidden on Amazon Lily, but her first experience with men was nothing but horror and tragedy. She doesn't want to ever be controlled again, by man or the government, so she lies to her people as to not let her past be known. But one man has been able to open her mind and her heart, and that's Luffy. Luffy's kind, understanding nature and inability to be turned to stone from her ability makes Boa fall for him, and she agrees to help him. And she helps him a lot. Not only does she get him into Impel Down so he can try to free Ace, but she actually fights Smoker and several pacifista to let Luffy get across the battlefield to Marineford, regardless of the consequence. These days, she just looks forward to the day that she could possibly marry him. Funnily enough, that love runs so deep that it is apparent even in her Seraphim clone, as S-Snake also has a soft spot for Luffy, which was our first glimpse of true humanity in these Seraphim. Boa's future. With the warlord system being abolished, Marines and pirates alike storm Amazon Lily, seeking to take out Boa, but Rayleigh was there to calm the situation. I think Boa will have 2 moves from here: join Luffy or join Cross Guild. I think joining Luffy would obviously be her first choice, and I think that she will ultimately be along his side when it matters the most, but her having an alliance with Cross Guild may actually be mutually beneficial if Crocodile were to tender that offer. Now, what I don't want to see happen is Boa Hancock get captured and end up being a slave again for the Celestial Dragons, because honestly, she's been through a lot. The reason why I say this is because it's very rare that a character is introduced and there's something that's a really huge integral part of their character and it doesn't end up coming back around at some point. We haven't really seen Boa have to confront her past and any Celestial Dragon since she told us these stories about her past. So I think that's actually a real possibility. Now, how exactly would they be able to get her when she's got the Pirate King's right-hand man guarding the island? I don't really know. I'm not sure how exactly this would go about, but I think that this is kind of like a loose end that could still end up getting tied up sometime during the final saga. When the final war is over and a new era begins, I think that the Kuja will no longer be isolated to Amazon Lily in the middle of the Calm Belt, and these women will be able to mingle with men and live their own lives. Boa may not ever fully trust men, but she will always love Luffy. Now, will Luffy love her back? That's a good question. I'm not sure, but I could see a similar situation to like Goku and Chi-Chi, where he was damn near oblivious to her feelings for like the entire time, but ends up settling down with her anyway. This could definitely also be the case for Luffy if he's around when everything is said and done. If you made it this far, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you want to see who will lead the world through the final war and past it, check out the video that'll be on the screen.